Liz Ness here. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create this UFO drawing and turn it into a stamp that you can, as you can see, recolor. So we laid this down after we created the stamp, and then we started recoloring it. So here I can back up the stages here, and you can see what's possible. These kinds of stamps are really fun to create because one, they're like an instant drawing once you've made them once, and then you can color them in any way you like in sections and whatnot for the, whatever you're using them for, like a card or a layout or whatever, maybe they're going into an illustration. So let's go ahead and get started. I have open here a nice 12-inch by 12-inch canvas at 300 dpi, and that translates out to 3600 by 3600 pixels. And we're going to get started by selecting black, and I'm just going to go to my monochrome palette, which you can get for free just by visiting my site, and I'll leave a link in the description below. So I'm going to select black, and then I'm going to go to the calligraphy monoline brush that comes standard with Procreate. And let's see, I'm going to dial that down to, I don't know, somewhere around 50% or so. And the first shape I'm going to make is I'm actually going to make an ellipse. Sorry, I'm having trouble with words today. So we're just going to draw a little ellipse like this, and then we're going to hold it. And then I'm going to tap, and that makes a perfect ellipse. And then now I'm going to go ahead and select my eraser by pressing down until it selects the current brush for me. I'm actually going to dial that up a little bit to make it easier on myself. And actually, you know what? Instead of erasing, let's go ahead and select it out. So we're going to tap the selection tool and then rectangle. And then I'm just going to draw a rectangle to take it out right about, probably about halfway. So bisect it. Okay, and then drag 3 fingers down. Yep, there we go. And then just tap cut. Okay, so that's the base of what we want. Now we're going to create an arc to attach these two edges to each other. So we're going to just go like, whoops, I still have my eraser. Let's go back to the brush. And then I'm going to move this just down so I can rest my hand here. And then I'm just going to draw an arc and hold. And then it's going to invoke the smart shape. So I'm going to say edit shape and arc. And then I'm just going to move this position of these lines so that they kind of line up like that, and play with my arc just a little bit. I kind of want it to look a little bit like that. Let's see. Yeah, that looks actually pretty good. So I'm gonna live with that. That's pretty good. So when I'm done, I'm just gonna tap out into the workspace. All right. So now I'm not 100% sure that this is all the way together here. So I want to just go ahead and take my little pen and kind of, whoops, that's probably not quite what I want to do. I just want to make sure that those are attached. Okay, and once they're attached, I'm going to go ahead and put some white in there. So just drag it in like that. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to make this small. The next thing we're going to do is create another ellipse, and I'm going to go back to my black pen. Okay, and then on a new layer. But I'm actually going to put this layer underneath the first layer, just like that. And I'm going to make this a little bit smaller so I can see what I'm doing here. And I'm going to start out here and create an ellipse that goes like this. Okay, and I'm just going to hold it and tap. Okay, and I'm just trying to decide if I like the way that that ellipse looks. And I'm pretty satisfied with it, but I want to play with it just a little bit. So I'm going to tap my transform tool here twice. Okay. And then I'm going to just like move this just a tad bit and bring it down just a bit. Oh, I like that. That's kind of cool. Okay, that's looking pretty cute. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and fill this shape with white. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to invert it. So I'm going to tap it and tap invert. Okay, and now there should be a white line underneath there too, but we can't see it quite yet. But the whole thing is outlined in white. Okay, and then I'm going to play with this shape a little bit more. Now that I've got this other shape involved, I kind of want to play with that top piece and see if I want it as big. So with the uniform selected, I'm actually going to dial this down just a little bit and then move it over just a bit. And I think I want it to maybe go like that. Okay, actually, maybe I want it to go up just a little bit more so that this the saucer piece is really showing up well there. So okay, I think I'm satisfied with that. All right, Now I'm going to draw my base here, and I want it to be a really gigantic big circle. So we're going to put another layer in, and we're going to put this all the way to the bottom. And once again, we're going to draw with black here. And so just a big gigantic circle. And then hold and tap with one finger to make sure it's a circle. Okay, perfect. Okay, and now I'm going to go ahead and select my transform tool and move this around a bit until I am satisfied sort of with the shape and position of it down here. I'm not too worried about what's going on at top here. I am just looking down here. And I want this, I'm going to select uniform, and I want this to grow out so that it's kind of out to there, and this one out to the edge there. So I really want these to be edge to edge. And I'm guessing I'm going to have to make this pretty big because I just want a sliver of it. So I'm just going to go like something like that probably. Yeah. Because I want it to be just inside the white, just like that, so that it's not creeping on the outside here. And actually this, I'm going to just move it up just a little bit more. Boy, my fingers, there we go. Okay, bring it out and over. Perfect. Okay, that's pretty good. I might want to squish this up when I get done here, but let's go ahead and deselect the transform tool, and now we're going to select it again. Okay, and now we're going to squish this up with the freeform tool here. Okay. Squish it down just like that. Okay, that actually looks pretty good. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take our pencil or our brush here, and we're just going to draw a line like this just to connect everything, and then that way I can put color right in here, drop it in. Perfect. And now we're going to go over to our selection tool, and with rectangle selected, we're going to take this and go right in the middle there and up, and then we're going to bring our three fingers down like that and cut. And you can see I have a little bit here, so I'm just going to erase that with my eraser here, right in that little area and this little area. And that looks pretty good. That's a pretty good little saucer there. Now I'm going to go ahead and make some dots here. So but let's go ahead and merge all of this together right now. So I'm just going to take all three layers and pinch them together. Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. Let's try that again. Okay, pinch these three together. There we go. Now they're all one shape. Okay, getting ready to, you know, turn this into a stamp. Okay, and now I'm going to go on top of that. I'm going to select white, and let's see, that's probably a pretty good size. I'm just taking it all the way up to the top there, and I'm going to draw a circle and tap, and another circle and tap. Well, that's not quite right. That's a little bit different. You know what, I'm just going to take this one and I'm going to duplicate it because that'll work out really well. That way it ensures that they're all the same size. Let's see. Okay, I want that in the center of the object itself, and then we're going to do one more. Okay, keeping them all about the same distance and also lined up like that. That's pretty good. Okay, that looks like, that's pretty fun, huh? All right, so this is great. So now we have all of these things are separated, right? So we can now turn this into a stamp that we can recolor pieces of. We can turn this into a reference and do different things. It'll be so much fun. We don't always have to do a reference, so we can just drop color right in. So let's do that so that you can see what I'm talking about here. Okay, so let me just, I'm just going to combine everything together here. Okay, and then I want to position this so that it's centered and also make it as big as it can be. So, oops, let's reset that, make that uniform. Here we go. Okay, that's a nice good size. Let's get it centered in the horizontally and vertically. Okay, good. Okay, that's great. Okay, so now we can go ahead and go over here to our wrench and to add and select copy canvas. And then, let's see, I'm going to go over to my essential starters here, and I'm going to turn this into a stamp and I want it to be a fairly large stamp, but I don't know if I want it to be this large. So maybe I'll just go with a stamp starter here. I'm going to go ahead and create a duplicate, and I'm going to move this over to my demos here. Okay, and then under demos, I'm going to tap that, and then this tells me what image I need to replace, and it's the shape. So I'm going to go into the shape and edit that, import, and paste, and this pastes the shape that I wanted, and this is perfect. So let's see, when I'm satisfied with that shape, I'm going to tap done. Now I want to just go ahead and give it a name, so let's call it, come on, there we okay, there we go. It's easier just to replace everything, so we're going to call this UFO. Let's see, now I actually already have a UFO in a set, so I'm going to call this UFO 2, just so I know where this came from. So okay, and then I'm going to tap done. Okay, so now let's just go ahead and test our brush. So I'm going to go ahead and make this layer invisible and create a new layer on top of it, and let's just choose any old color like this red right here. Okay, and let's see, okay, I think this is pretty good size. Great, let's make this 100%. Awesome. So that's that one particular stamp size creates a pretty good size stamp. Okay, so now let's play with the colors here, and this is why I like these. They're sort of a solid stamp, but that are separated so that we can really change the colors and play with this a bit and have some fun. So let's go ahead and choose a darker, sort of a shaded red down here, and maybe even a little less saturated. There we go, kind of a brown color. Whoops. And let's drop it into the base here. Ooh, that's cool. Okay, and then let's choose like a soft blue for the shield here. Maybe, you know, really close to white, but still soft blue there. And just drop it in there. And then let's go with a darker blue, and then we can make it like, whoops, I forgot I still had that selected. Let's go choose our calligraphy pen again. Okay, and I'm going to bring this down just a little bit, but you can make it like it's got a drawing there. That's fun. And actually, I'm deciding that I don't really like the red, so I'm going to choose a different color, you know, something more metallic-y. I think of this blue, but sort of up in this space. Okay, that's probably too dark. Maybe up this way. There we go. Oh, that's cool. I like that. So anyway, you can play around with this, and this is the benefit of making a solid stamp that is separated in places where you have lines too. So the lines actually help define the shape. So, you know, what's missing is helping define the shape, but it's also giving you a way that you can color a variety of different things. And it's really useful to have stamps that do this. And this is how you make them. And oh, by the way, to get the essential starters that I played with here, where I chose that stamp starter, I'll leave a link in the description below. You get those free when you subscribe to the newsletter. So anyway, like I said, I'll leave all that information below, and this is how you make a fun little UFO stamp. If you've enjoyed this video, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring that bell so you're notified when new videos become available. Meanwhile, I hope your day is amazing.